welcome to the show. It is going to be an interesting day to say the least, folks. Out there, it's National Signing Day. Sorry that we're now just getting on. It's 12:09 right now. Had some problems to sort through today, and the main problem's coming out. And see, there's a problem right off the back right there, or right off the bat. I pushed the wrong button on here. I usually run the board, but I usually have other people here, and we turn both mics on, but it's just me today. The boys are out doing different stuff. I, once again, as we told you, had some personal issues he has to take care of today. Brad is at a job fair, so they left the boss to run the show by himself. We tried to get a few replacements to come in. None of them worked out. So you just got me talking for an hour, 50 minutes today. We're supposed to have Coach Bo back on today. Problems ended up there. Weren't able to work that out. But it's all right. We're going to power through this. We're going to figure this all out. National Signing Days today. It's kind of funny if you think about it. We are celebrating athletes that have done nothing for their colleges. They signed a sheet of paper saying that they would play for that university, that they would attend school there. That school's not even going to receive money from them in tuition because they're all on scholarship. It's something different to celebrate, I think. And I'm happy to see for the high schoolers, that it's an awesome moment. They worked very hard for it. But are we celebrating them too much? I mean, ESPN has full coverage all day of signing day and just increases the coverage. I don't know how many different campuses they're on today, and they got reporters just standing out there waiting to talk to the head football coach about their recruiting class. And the football coach can't talk about a recruit specifically until he signs, until he gets his letter of letter of intent. Once you get that letter, once you sign that letter and fax it away, your soul is gone forever right there, folks. Just a total different idea than I had the way sports would go. But am I surprised? Not really. It's kind of the society that we live in today. Kids of my generation and the way they're going. Big fancy celebrations. Enjoy the celebrating right now, because when you get in the end zone, they don't let you celebrate anymore. Just some food for thought on that. Recruiting doesn't always prove to be successful either. It takes coaching. You need players, but you have to coach them up. Throughout the show, we have a good show lined up today. How long is it going to take us to go through the whole show is the real question. When I have Brad and Ike here, the real deal is they can just talk sports the whole time. I kind of run the show how we need to, but I have to talk by myself. Might take a few breaks. If you have any questions, though, that you'd like answered, be sure to email us at themattwallenshow@gmail.com. We will be sure to answer any of those questions, and we really would love to hear from you. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at _MW_show. Also, check out our blog. That's where you can find the show. If you're not able to listen to Edmund, listen to it on the blog. Had some technical problems last one. There's always something going wrong. It happens. College radio, we're not making excuses. We'll make it work, though. We do have big news, though. And since I'm the only one here, I guess we'll go ahead and break the big news. We are in the midst of getting set up. The Matt Wallen Show.com. On the website, you'll be able to go view all the shows. And you'll also be able, we're trying to talk Brad and Ike into doing a little writing for us. I really would love to hear Ike's take from his personal opinion on the Cam Newton thing. Is it based on race? I talked to him about that. I'd love for you to write an article on that. So we're working. We're going to get that website up and running. We just want to give a quick shout out to all the fans out there. Facebook page is doing well. Over 100 likes. Couldn't do it without y'all. Keep on spreading the word. We'll keep talking sports as long as there's someone to listen. And if you get tired of listening, we'll keep on talking. It's just how we do. But National Signing Day, though, interesting when I was going through this, and we'll get further down in the show on it, because we're also going to talk about 2012. That recruiting class in 2012, actually the year I graduated high school, and there were some good players in the state of Oklahoma. Sterling Shepard, Barry Sanders, they played at one high school. Fortunately, we had to go up against them, or we might have a state championship. Two, actually. But out of the teams in there, how did it turn out for the programs in the top 10 in recruiting with the class of 2012? We're going to talk about that. We'll dive deep in that. Also, recruitings for the schools of Oklahoma, for the bigger schools. We'll cover UCO, of course, and all that. And some of the comments Coach Bobeck has made on some of the signees. But OU and OSU, along with Tulsa, all have recruiting going on today. It's National Signing Day, NSD. Who would have ever thought as big of an event as it's become? Just an idea to preview that class of 2012 that we talked about. In that class, people like Jameis Winston, Amari Cooper, Deron Neal, Alex Ross. Alex Ross also graduated from Jinx. Forgot about him. Talk about those. UCO recruiting. We'll do what's trending. I know we're focusing on National Signing Day. We'll still do what's trending. Gotta do what's trending, or as I calls it, what's going on? I don't know. I don't think I can hit it like you can. Oh well. Moving on, we'll also look at the top recruiting classes in the nation going on right now. We'll check back in on that all day. We got Twitter pulled up. We're looking at all the latest signings and all that. Maybe the problem is I'm helping to contribute to the chaos that is signing day. Maybe I am. Well, you get over it. We'll look at the Big 12 classes. Also, we're going to the whole goal is to win a national championship and to make it to the Final Four, or the last four, however you want to tell the difference. Final Four is basketball, but the last four, the playoff four, whatever you want to call it. Larry Culpepper, I wonder what he originally came up with it. You know, the guy from Dr. Pepper commercials that claims he started it. Let's talk about Clemson, Alabama, Michigan State, Oklahoma. 4 teams. Where did they rank in recruiting the last 4 years, starting in 2012? Because they had 4 classes under their belts, and what did that produce for them? Numbers might shock you. One team's numbers, I don't think, will. Kind of been dominant in college football ever since a man by the name of Nick Saban came to town. But yep, should we start or should we go to break? Kind of gave you a little preview of it. Let's go ahead. We'll take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll dive right into what the Oklahoma schools are getting, and then we'll talk about UCO as well. You're listening to the Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 U Central Radio. And welcome back to the show, I'm calling it the wrong show now, to the Matt Wallen Show. It's 12:21. Oh, wow. I'm telling you what type of day it is. Called it the name of the show that we had last semester. I could use Jacob Beeman about right now. Don't do too well being alone by myself here in the booth. Like, what is going on? Big news, though, coming out as we were talking about National Sign Day. The number 1 recruit in the nation, a defensive tackle from New Jersey. Let's look at this. He is from Promise, New Jersey. 6'4", 286 defensive lineman. Where does he decide to go? The University of Michigan. A Michigan man is Rashawn Gary. Interesting get right there. Big get, actually. Big get for Coach Harbaugh. You know, Coach Harbaugh is probably just walking in going, Harbaugh, welcome. Wouldn't you want to go play for him? I mean, we see pictures of him in sweats with recruits. He seems like a down-to-earth guy. Sweat party with Coach Harbaugh. Sounds better than a pajama party with Coach Harbaugh. But as we move on, how are the schools in the state of Oklahoma doing? We'll get to UCO in a little bit. Starting off, though, we'll start with Tulsa. Tulsa last year, as a team, did they have the best season? No, they went 6-7. They did go to the bowl game, went 3-5 in conference play. It wasn't too bad. Not too bad at all for first-year coach Philip Montgomery. If I was Coach Montgomery, what I'd want, some defense. University of Tulsa can score some points. But defensively, can they play? Really think they need to work on that, and I can tell by looking at this recruiting list, they're getting some players on the defensive side. Let's see, 2 defensive tackles, 2 defensive ends, 2 cornerbacks, 3 linebackers, and 3 linebackers. Yeah, 3 linebackers. Cornerbacks, how many cornerbacks we got here? Count it up as I go through. 2 cornerbacks. So defense was a huge emphasis for this Tulsa Golden Hurricane squad last year, and I understand why. They could score, but they couldn't stop anyone. Think back to that bowl game. They gave up so many points. They gave up 55 points to Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech had a hard time scoring all season. Man. Played Florida Atlantic week 1. Gave up 44 points in an overtime win. Next week, won 40-20 over New Mexico State. Lost OU 38-52. Told you to score some points. They held Houston to 38. They should be proud about that. But where were they the rest of the season? Gave up 66 points to Memphis at home. Memphis is a good club, but 66 points? I don't know. Gave up 49 to Cincinnati, 44 to Navy. Navy runs the football. It's not a passing, spread you out football team, high scoring team. When I see 44-21, Navy had to run the ball down Tulsa's throat. And then 55 points in the Camping World Independence Bowl. Defense much needed for the Golden Hurricanes. Also got a quarterback from Forney, Texas, 6'3", 200-pound quarterback by the name of Luke Skipper. Be interesting to see how Skipper does. They did get a quarterback a year ago that I would not mind see playing, mainly because his last name is President. It's a pretty cool name, and to be the quarterback, you kind of gotta be a little impressed right there. That is awesome. Let's see if we can find him real quick if he's still here. Chad President from Temple, Texas. He was a freshman, 6'3", 206. How would you like walking around campus and them going, look, it's Mr. President. Literally, he is Mr. President for his whole life. Not just 4 or 8 years. Could be interesting to see. Enrolled early last year, participated in spring drills. 6'3", 206. I'd imagine kid can play. Moving on, we'll stay up towards the Tulsa area. We'll go to Stillwater, where OSU had a good season last year. Recruiting class numbers don't always prove that, but they went 10-3, 7-2, tied for second in the Big 12 with TCU. It could have won Bedlam. They would have been Big 12 champs. Second time school history. Coach Gundy gets a lot done. Pointing out, been to 10 consecutive bowl games. That's a school record. 6 first-round picks since 2009. Gundy's won 4 national award or major national award winners he's coached. And he's won 94 games. So he'll get to 200, or he'll get to 100 this year. He should, at least. Congrats for Coach Gundy. Big get, if we look at it, for OSU would be Tremont Moore from John Marshall. Decided to be a Cowboy over a Sooner. Good get for them. It'll be interesting to see, though, how a city kid translates to playing in the Big 12. You think of someone like Gerald McCoy, went to Southeast High School, and then went on to Oklahoma. He's now playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a 3rd overall draft pick. Big difference than playing ball in Oklahoma City public schools. Let me tell you that. Can the Cowboys do better than they did last year? Had trouble running the ball. Coach Gundy said they were going to focus on that this season. And let's see, moving on to the school down to the south of us in Norman. They got another quarterback in this recruiting class. They lost a lot, though. They've lost some recruits. You lost 2 defensive tackles to the University of Texas. Probably should have beat them in Dallas this year, because they're beating you on the recruiting trail. But here's my thing on this, though. Once you get them into the university, it is, can you make men out of boys? Can you get them to play your style of football? Every coach is going to tell you, I love our recruiting class. We got exactly what we needed. We filled all our needs. And I sit here and I think, you have to say that because it is part of your job. Recruiting is part of your job. So if you go out and you say, we didn't meet our needs, basically what you're saying is, I failed at my job. I did not accomplish what I was supposed to do. And how many people will admit that they failed? Now, during the football season, you kind of have to admit you have failed because the writing is on the wall. Literally, there is a scoreboard that says if you won or you lost. But on National Signing Day, you have all these rankings. It goes from ESPN to Sports Illustrated, 24/7 Sports. Who else has one? Yahoo does it. One. Rivals, I believe that's theirs. They give rankings. We're going to talk about these rankings. They mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. Because you have to go out on the field and perform. If you don't do that, then you won't be coaching at that school much longer. It's just the facts. So we blow up all these things about, man, this kid is going to be great. This kid is going to be the next Adrian Peterson. We hear that a lot. They might be. But what have they done to earn it? High school is a totally different animal. These kids coming into college, these that signed today, think that they're going to go 3 years and then go straight to the NFL. Half these kids are going to redshirt their freshman year. Then there comes the fact, how much trouble am I going to get into now that I'm away from mama and daddy? When peer pressure wants me to go down a wrong path, can I say no? These kids have a bright, bright future. Can they keep their head on straight? I know we're bouncing around a lot of different topics right here, but that's all what's running through my mind right now. If we're being honest. No coach is going to tell you he got a bad recruiting class. Would they like to get a few recruits that they didn't? Yeah, sure. Unless you're Alabama, you get all the recruits you want. That's what happens when you win national championships. Though they're not the number one recruiting class right now. That goes to Jimbo Fisher in Florida State. Seminoles. Pulling in the recruits. Who wouldn't want to go play in Florida, though? Nice weather all year round. Never been to Tallahassee. Might have to do that on a trip. We'll take a quick break, then we'll be back. You're listening to the Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 U Central Radio. And welcome back to the show. It is 12:38 here, and you're listening to the Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 U Central Radio. And we're having our National Signing Day coverage right now. It's now time to talk about all the recruits that the UCO Broncos got this year. You know, the Bronco football team started off the year rough. They did. They lost the first 4 games. But, you know, they found a way. They really did. And that just comes from they lost the games close. They did. This is a good football team, guys. A very good football team. I wish we could have had Coach Bobeck on the show, could have figured that all out. But we weren't able to. I want to ask him about next year's squad because I heard from one football player, one starting offensive lineman who'll be back, that next year's squad could be scary good. Scary good. They won a bowl game. They won 7 out of their last 8 games. They got it together. Once again, any questions or anything, be sure to email us at themattwallenshow@gmail.com. Just check the email right now. No one's emailed us. If you got any questions, shoot them right to us. We'll be glad to answer them. Looking at what the Broncos added, though. Let's see. Right now, I'm looking at it on the official Broncos Sports website right now to look and see who we signed. Latest commit, a deep snapper. You got to have a deep snapper, though, folks. Interesting that I didn't know that you necessarily gave a scholarship out for that, though. I'm seeing a lot of Oklahoma kids. I like to see that. Seeing kids from Tulsa getting a quarterback from Tulsa, 6'3", 185, Keats Calhoun. Bobeck says, big experienced quarterback who can run and throw. Does a great job of distributing the football and will fit our scheme nicely. It'd be good to see him in the years to come. Let's see, Broken Arrow towards Tulsa area. Alec Davidson, a receiver, 6'1", talented athlete who puts up video game numbers last year in high school. Well, let's see if he can do it in college. Ooh, Bentonville, Arkansas. Anyone know what's in Bentonville? The home of Walmart. Tyrone Mahone, a defense back, 5'11", 170, from Bentonville, Arkansas. Okay. Let's see, Lawton, Oklahoma. Chandler, Oklahoma. Some receivers. Coach Bobeck getting some height. Just going through this. Yeah, you get a lot of receivers right here. Okay, 6'5", 240 defensive end, Sam Rule. Long athlete with natural movement skills. For an individual his size, Sam has the potential to develop into a great football player. Be looking for Sam's name for years to come here at the University of Central Oklahoma. Can't wait to hear more about him. Then we also got some mid-year transfers. Let's see, from Sierra College, Vincent Consentino, 6'3", defensive end, 255, big pass rusher who will compete for immediate playing time this spring. A mature kid that plays with great energy. And then also, let's see, defensive back Barry Hidgen from Fort Scott Community College, 6'3", 200, another mid-year enrollee who will compete this spring for playing time at cornerback. Barry is really long, which allows him to get hands on a receiver and disrupt routes. So it sounds like Coach Bobeck and the team, they're getting some recruits in, getting what they need to compete. Just got another one, like we said, from Jones High School. Ty Hughes, 6'1", 275. So Coach Bobeck has really seemed to build on size. It seems what they've been going to. I know they want speed, but they really been working on size. Interesting route. They like to go fast. They like to go quick, too. Be interesting to see the combination mix. Jason Smelser, the linebacker coach. I was laying in bed last night preparing for the show, and I just happened to check Twitter, and I saw a tweet that he sent out. If you don't, he has some funny tweets and all that. But let me find it real quick. He talked about how he couldn't sleep last night. Couldn't sleep last night because he was so excited about this new recruiting class that UCO's getting. I have a feeling they could be pretty good. I just have a feeling. Could be. It'd be interesting to see what they have in the upcoming season. It'll take a few years probably for them to get where they need to be, but could be scary good next season. Can't wait to see. What else do we got next on the rundown for the show? Oh, yes. Class of 2012. Let's talk about this real quick. Okay, so the recruiting class of 2012, they graduated in 2012. They are now graduating college. Well, some of them might, if they redshirt, they might still be around now that I think about it. But this class produced Jameis Winston, Amari Cooper, TJ Yeldon, Sterling Shepard, Deron Neal, Alex Ross, Barry Sanders Jr., and Ty Darlington. They were in the top 150. Jameis Winston won a national championship, won a Heisman Trophy, first overall draft pick, and he was ranked number 14th in the rankings. Amari Cooper was ranked number 49th. He won a national championship at Alabama. I believe he did. His first year, they won one. TJ Yeldon would have won one his first year. Probably didn't contribute much. I'm trying to think if Yeldon did now that I think about it. And then all these kids that, you had a pretty good class. They were ranked 12th. How'd they finish off? Out of view. Let's check the rankings right now by rivals, where they had them in 2012. It's pulling it up right now. Listen to this. I want you to think about this because this stat blows my mind. Okay. I'm going to read off to you the top 10 teams. Number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Texas. Number 3, Florida. Number 4, Ohio State. Number 5, Stanford. Number 6, Florida State. Number 7, Michigan. Number 8, USC. Number 9, Miami. Number 10, Auburn. 6 of the 10 schools I just read off since 2012 have gotten a new football coach. So let this settle in for y'all listening. Recruiting can make a difference, but if you don't have coaches to turn these athletes into players, then it will do nothing for you going forward. It will do absolutely nothing. Because you have to take a good player and make them a great player. They might be a great player in high school. They could come and be a below average player who does not produce in college. How do they get better? Coaching. 2012, the second ranked team in the class, the Texas Longhorns. Mac Brown's not there. Florida, Will Muschamp, not there. He's at South Carolina now. Brady Hogue at Michigan came in 7th. Not there anymore. USC, Sarkisian, not there anymore. Miami, Al Golden, not there anymore. Things are changing. Auburn, I'm trying to think what year Malzahn took over. I think it was 2011. Or 2013 maybe. I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. But you have to win to keep your job. But we're celebrating, but it all goes back to is these coaches are not guaranteed that these players are going to perform. They see what they see on tape what they like, so they bring them in. Now freak stuff happens, injuries. Hopefully they're academically eligible. Hopefully. It's not a promise that they are. But you gotta hope so. Right now, current rankings, current top 10 go Florida State, Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Mississippi, LSU, Michigan, Georgia at 8. Kirby Smart doing a lot of good stuff, it looks like, at the University of Georgia. Really selling it. Think about this. He's stealing all those. He's bringing in recruits from Alabama because he recruited them at Alabama, and they're going with Kirby. They're going with him, going to be a dog. Number 9, Notre Dame. And number 10, Auburn. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Let's look real quick. If we have time. Yeah, we do have it. Let's look at the Big 12, where the Big 12 ranks. And while I was watching this morning, I took a picture. Let me pull it up on my cell phone right now. About where the top recruits are going. And this was done by ESPN. 300 commits. The ESPN Top 300, which they put out. This is the Power 5 conference. 103 of the recruits are going to the SEC. Number 2, which is only at 50, is the Big 10. ACC is at 3 with 45. Pac-12 is at 34 and number 4. And at last, at 5th, with 33, the Big 12. The Big 12 not getting the recruits that they used to. At least that's what ESPN's saying. I'm saying this. If you get a kid that works hard with some skill and you coach him up, I think you're going to be in the right place. These scouts, they miss people all the time. So train them. Train your players. Sam Bradford was a 3-star recruit out of Putnam City North. What did he go on to do? Win a Heisman. Number 1 draft pick. NFL hasn't been that great for him, but in college, he ruled. Should have won a national championship. Probably should have ran the ball on the 1-yard line, but that's You should have probably just gone over the top with Sam, but that's my vendetta against Coach Wilson right there. I was at that game. Looking at the Big 12, though, this is via Sports Illustrated. Top-ranked team for the Big 12 is at number 9, Texas. They went 5-7 last year, and they're number 1 in the conference. Wow. Just wow. It's all about brand name there. Who knows? Maybe Charlie Strong's one heck of a recruiter. They're not seeing it on the field. All the talent he's bringing in, can he coach him up? Number 15, tied for second in the Big 12 this year, TCU at 11-2. They're in a good class. Right behind them is Baylor at 10-3. At 22, the Big 12 champs, Oklahoma at 29, Texas Tech. Texas Tech, it's not bad. 29? See if they can produce some defense is what they need. West Virginia at 34. Iowa State, 44. Iowa State went 3-9 the season and has a new coach. Some pretty good recruiting class for him coming mid-season, get some players in, but once again, can he perform? Oklahoma State at 48 at 7-2. Or 10-3 on the season, 7-2 in conference play. Tied once again for second in the Big 12 at 7-2. Kansas State at 73, and Kansas, who did not win a single game last year, at 90. Kansas will take whatever they can get at this point. You get a scholarship. You get a scholarship. Come play at Kansas. Makes me think of Charlie Strong. If you don't think you can play for this, whatever he said, sorry, I don't believe I can say it on air, then where do you think you can play? Go play at Kansas. Worst case scenario, you can probably get in to, Fog Allen Fieldhouse. That'd be fun. Go watch a basketball game there in the student section. Let's see, moving on. We got about 5 minutes left in the show until the top of the hour. Let's see, the Thunder play tonight. No, that's a little off topic. Haven't talked really much about them of late. But the Thunder off tonight. Oklahoma put out an article, it looks like today, because it came out yesterday that if Kevin Durant was to leave, a serious contender would be Golden State. I know a lot of people don't like hearing about that, not to say the least. But the article that the Oklahoman put out, let me see if I can find it real quick. But if I recall right, the title of the article read, what was it? It was basically, is Durant more, is legacy or titles more important to Kevin Durant? That was basically what it was, if I recall right. And that was just from the Oklahoman. I'm sure it would be an interesting article to read. They play tonight. I believe they play them last night. Or 2 nights ago, they played the Wizards. Let's see who they play tonight. They're back in action at home. Waiting for it to come up on my app. Against the Magic. Thunder should win that. They're at 37-13 in the season. Having a good year. Let's see. Oh, the last 4. Your job is to get in. We're jumping back to football. Sorry, folks. But your job is to get into the playoffs. The 4 teams that did this year, let's look at where they rank recruiting, and then we'll call it a day. Alabama won a national championship. They have been number 1 in recruiting the last 4 years. They've had the number 1 class via 24/7 Sports, so they should be number 1. They should. There's no reason they shouldn't be number 1. If you go by that. They have a really good coach, too. They're pretty loaded. Clemson, number 1 team in the country all year long. In 2012, 15. 2013, 15. 2014, 7th. 2015, 9th. They're getting better, folks, if you go by the numbers. Dabo Swinney, not a bad coach either. University of Oklahoma. 2012, 12. 2016 or 2013, 16, 2014, 14, 2015, 14 again. This year, 22. They're falling down if you go by the numbers. But can Coach Stoops coach? I was talking about today, one of the linebackers he got was underrated. It is what you can do with the talent that you're given. Because once again, you're going to tell them you did a great job. You got exactly who you needed. Okay, coach. Now coach him up. Get him on the field. You know a coach who does that? Mark D'Antonio at Michigan State. Listen to this. 2012, 33rd. 2013, 35. 2014, 25. 2015, 22. Not one time were they in the top 20. This year, it looks like they're currently at 17, so they'll get it there. But not one time were they in the top 20. And yet they are competing in the Final Four. They beat Ohio State. It is living proof that it's what you put on the field. You might have got a recruiting class. You might have got the best one in the country by the experts. Do they hang a banner for that? Last time I checked, they didn't. Because guess what? It's going to be nice. You're going to be celebrated. They're so happy to get you. Then you come in and you realize you're the low man on the totem pole. Do you have the mental ability to stick around? You could transfer away. Players these days are proving they do not have a problem transferring. Kids want to play immediately. They don't want to be redshirted. Can you mentally handle the process of having to go to practice every day and not getting to play on Saturday? You went from being the big fish in a little pond to a gigantic ocean and being as little of a fish as you can be. Yes, you're popular on campus, but you're not getting to play on Sunday or on Saturday. Well, that about does it for the show today. We'll go ahead and wrap it up because we got to be out at 1. I got in trouble, I guess, for Monday if we're going a little over, so we'll wrap it up right now. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at @the_MW_show. Also, check out the blog, themattwallenshow.blogspot.com. It won't be there for much longer. We're getting a new website, themattwallenshow.com. Can't wait. Hopefully, you're going to have some great writing on there. As always, it has been fun. We'll be back Monday. Because you know what's going to happen Monday? The boys are going to come back. The Super Bowl will happen. We'll have a lot to talk about Monday. I can't wait. I will have to do the show by myself. I'm sorry for y'all that had to listen at home to the show. You're like, this guy has not stopped talking. It's true, I haven't. It's all right. Have a good weekend. It's 1 o'clock, and you have just listened to The Matt Wallen Show on 99.3 U Central Radio.
KZUC LP Edmond.
Your station, 99.3.
Celebrating 125 years of excellence at UCO.
You play the best music.
You can't get it anywhere else.
UCO's best mix.
U Central Radio.